Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought that we would do a card giving inspiration, or I gained inspiration from the colours here from the Noble Peacock Rhinestones. I haven't used many of these yet, but I really love the colours, and I thought that I would tone them in, not exactly with the colours in the catalogue, but with the colours that I've got. So with the blue one, I'm going to use Pacific Point. I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape with the purple. Melon Mambo, they suggested with this pinky one. I would have said more sort of Blushing Bride. And then with the greeny one, it's Old Olive, but I think that the Granny Apple Green will go nicely with it. And then with this end one, I'm going to use Bermuda Bay because I want to take that sort of turquoisey colour from it. So that's what I'm gaining inspiration from. Not quite a rainbow, but sort of. And we are going to be working with Painted Poppies and Thoughtful Blooms. This one is in the mini catalogue. This one is a Sale-A-Bration one. This one you can get for a qualifying order of £45, and then it's absolutely free. So if you bought some of these bits, you could get that for free if you wanted to. So we are going to be using from the Painted Poppies this lovely splatter. And I've got a matte piece, which is whatever your normal mat is going to be. So this is going to measure 5 1/4 by 3 1/2 for me, and we're having it on the landscape side. And then with the splatter, we are going to take the Melon Mambo, ink it up, and we are then going to, and you can put it whichever sort of way you want, but I think I'm going to have it this way, and I'm going to tuck that as near to the edge as I can. Like that. So that's the Melon Mambo. And we are going to be using, so while I'm doing it, let's do two at the same time. We're going to take this flower from the Thoughtful Blooms, and let's put that on a block. Now, to be able to stamp this out, there is a punch that you can get for free. So it always works with it on the top. So I'm going to take this out at the same time so we can use the same ink at the same time as the same ink, if you see what I mean. So we are going to take a flower in the Melon Mambo, and we're just going to put it there. Okay, so I can then let's get my Simply Chamois out, get myself organised, and so I can clean that one off on there. And I can clean this one off as well on my Simply Chamois, and that's the Melon Mambo done for the moment. Then we're going to use the Gorgeous Grape. So with the Gorgeous Grape, we are going to do exactly the same sort of order. Let's move that one out of the way for the moment. And I'm just going to do it so it just overlaps a little bit. Otherwise I won't get all 5 of them on. So fairly sort of tight on there. Clean it up with my Simply Chamois again. And then I'm going to take the Gorgeous Grape in the flower and put that onto the scrap. Like that. And clean that one off. Okay, now we are going to use the Pacific Point. And we'll link that one up. I love that Melon Mambo and Gorgeous Grape together. I think it looks lovely. So again, just overlapping a little bit. Clean that one off. And then take this one and make sure I've inked it up straight, yes, and then put that on here. Clean that one off. So as I say, it's a little bit of a production line, but it means that you can get the colours that you want as you go. And then this is the Granny Apple Green. And we'll put that one in on there, and again just overlapping a little bit. Oh, I quite like that together. Those colours really look nice, don't they? And then this little one in here. I'll put that one in on here. Like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one is going to be the Bermuda Bay. Let's open that one up. And that one is going to go right down on the end like that. Okay, oh yes, that does look nice. And then that's going to go, oh, it's me inking it up. I'm just about to do that as another one. I don't want that. So let's clean that one off. And we want this little flower. Put that one on there. Okay, so that's our colour range done. Then I am going to, let's pop this one back in its case. So that's all we're using out of the Painted Poppies. But with the Thoughtful Blooms, there are some rather lovely little stamps. That's all we need out of this one for that size. So that one can go back. But there are some lovely little ones in here. I like this little one. I will show you them in a minute. I'm just getting them out. I like this one. And I like this one. Okay, so you could leave it exactly as it is, but I thought that it would be quite nice to just add a little bit more on these. So I'm going to take the... we can do it backwards with these rather than putting them all in order. So the Bermuda Bay, we'll take this one first. And I'm just sort of randomly going to place them in different positions. So let's take this little one. Let's have the little one down there. Like that. Whoop. Nearly lost it. It's a tiny one that just nearly went flying on the floor. And then this one, which is another sort of centre, probably about there on this one. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we'll now use the Granny Apple Green. And we can do it the other way round because I want these to be fairly sort of random and not in the same places all the time. So we'll have that one at the bottom. It doesn't matter if they overlap where the splots are, because the idea is to just give some sort of colouring in on here. I don't want them quite in exactly the same position, so I'm going to put that one a bit higher. And then this little tiny flower. I might put down there, I think, on this one. So it is, you want it to, oh, that stuck to my finger. You want it to be as random as you can because you don't want it to look uniform, because the splatter as such is not uniform, it's a splatter. So by trying to get these pieces looking too uniform, it might not work. So I want to try and get this blue one we're going to have that down the bottom this time. And then we can have this one on here. About there. And then the little tiny one can go up. Oops, haven't got all of those done, that's better. I might have this down that direction. I'm going to have it just there. So you can put it where you want, as long as it looks not uniform. So gorgeous grape next. So should we have this one at the top or the bottom? I think at the top, and maybe about there. And then this one down the bottom. And then we'll have the other little one at the top. Like that. Then we'll go and do the last one, which is the Melon Mambo. We can do the little one first. Should we have the little one down the bottom? Or up the top? Little one down the bottom, I think. Just about there. This big one. Side there. So the top ones are a little bit more uniform than the bottom. I've only got sort of one at the bottom because it's a 5. It won't really balance completely, but I'm going to stick that one up on there, so that's sort of in a different, slightly different position. You can add more, you can not put them in at all, entirely up to you. I just thought that it would make it a little bit more fun. So we are now going to, if you have got the punch that goes with this, and I can't think of what the name is, I will put it down below. You can only get it free at the moment. However, I still have the petal punch, petite petals punch, which we had a little while ago, and I don't want it to fly away. It does punch it out reasonably well. I will show you a little trick to take the little pointy pieces off. If you haven't got any of the punches, you can just fussy cut it out. It's not a particularly difficult shape to fussy cut out, so you can do that relatively easily. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time, and again, we all buy our products at different times, and I know a lot of my customers have still got products that they've bought a long time ago because they use them, and it's nice to match old with new sometimes as well. So if you've got the Petite Petals punch, use it, no problem with that. And what you can do to take those little points off is to literally just round them. My lights are a bit bright, so it's difficult for me to see it perfectly, and I haven't stamped that one out or punched that one out the best actually, but it'll be okay. So that's now got a rounded side, and again with these you can just round them off. If you're not worried about the roundy pieces, you can leave them as they are and just have that little point on them, because they're on each one of them. Doesn't really matter too much. And as I say, if you haven't got any punches, it's a relatively easy shape to just fussy cut out. So I'm going to have lots of little tiny pieces on there. I'm trying to cut these out a bit. But now I've started, I have to finish it, so you just have to bear with me, or you can fast forward this bit. There. But I do love the way those colours come together. You can get inspiration for colours to match together from all sorts of things. The catalogue is full of inspiration, and sometimes if I think, oh, I wonder what colour I'm going to do to match with that, or you know, I don't want to do a complete rainbow, but what can I do that will look quite fun? I do look at things around me, things in nature, things in the shops. Quite often if you go into your local shops, you'll see colours matched together, you know, towels and bed linen and, you know, patterns and things like that. They always sort of seem to have them matched together. Right, let me take these little tiny pieces out of the way because we don't need those. Okay, so we've now got the start of something which is going to look quite good, I think. So I need to get some little tiny dimensionals. I need to make sure that I've got these here. Now, let me have a look and see. I should have got these out beforehand, but I haven't got them, so let me just have a look. I put them away carefully, and it's like everything else, you put them away and then you can't find them. Are they in this one? No. We'll get them out in a minute. No, I can't find where they are, so I'm just going to, bear with me a second, I'm going to stand up and get a new packet out. And these are probably going to be too big because these are our standards, but will they work in there or not? I think they might be a bit big. Well, let me try one. Let me try one. If not, I'll have to go and rummage and get my minis out. Oh no, they are all right. Just need to be a bit careful where you put them, but no, they're perfect. Okay, so we're going to put each one of these on dimensionals. I would use minis. I just have put them in my drawer, and I'm not going to waste time in finding where they are. I keep my dimensionals and my embellishments all in the same area. I have a very old, ancient, and in fact it belonged to my grandfather. It was a sort of a little apothecary's chest with all sorts of scientific bits and pieces and instruments and things in, because he used to do a lot of experiment work, etc. with his work, and I inherited it, and it's beautiful because it's got lots of little drawers that come out and I can keep all my bits and pieces in there. So we are going to put these on now. Little tip to make sure that things are as balanced as they can be: if you put your first one on where you think you want it to go, like that, and then take your last one, you can then balance it up. If you start on one side and work across, quite often what happens is you get to the end and you go, oh, I'm short, or I'm, you know, there's too much of a gap. Whereas if you start at one side and work through on the other, it makes it slightly easier. So we should be able to get these in. I really like the sort of abstractness of this. So we'll put that in on there, and we'll have this one in. And I am purposefully trying to sort of rotate these so that the flowers aren't completely uniform. That's not quite centered. That'll go there a bit better, I think. There we go. Okay, so now we can take our really pretty Noble Peacock rhinestones, which are just lovely colours, and we can then see, that's like everything else, they always put them so they're stuck carefully on things. So let's move these out of the way, and I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use the spatula side for just getting them up. Because they're on like little adhesive dots, you do need to just sort of carefully ease them up. And then we're going to have one in the center here, like that. The Granny Apple Green one, which, as I say, was supposed to team with Old Olive, but I think that that goes absolutely spot on with Granny Apple Green. The pink one is supposed to be Melon Mambo, which is down on there. I see, did them in a slightly different order. Oh yes, that goes quite nicely with Melon Mambo. It sort of picks up the colours. Gorgeous Grape with Gorgeous Grape. Now you can, if you wanted to put pearls, you can put pearls on and colour them yourself. I've got one up here. Let's get this one that's sort of slid across a bit. There we go. Where's that one? Get it up so it's not going to fall over. That's better. Oh yes, I really like the putting those on. That really gives a real pretty sparkle of colouring on there. Lovely. So that's the centre part. Then all we need to do is to let's pop these back in here carefully so that they don't stick to each other and stuck to the back of here. That's it. Put them in carefully. But I do like these. I think they're very pretty. I've only just recently got them and I thought, I do like them because they're just really nice and twinkly and will match with all sorts of things. But when you're doing a rainbow like that, they match absolutely perfectly. So we can now put a sentiment of some sort on. So I've got the thoughtful blooms. So I could have a thank you down there. I could have congratulations actually might be quite nice. Don't use congratulations very much, but you can use congratulations for birthdays, for anniversaries, for something that somebody's done, which is rather special. So let's have a little go at this. To push it on now, because it's sort of a long one, I need to remember if you lay it down first, it's always very sticky when it's brand new, and then put your block over the top, it won't bend or twist at all. And what colour shall I do that with? I think I'm going to, let me have a look and see what I'm going to use as my mat. I think I'm going to use, am I going to use see what I've got here. Do I use purples or pinks or... difficult. I always count a few mats and then try and decide. So we can, let's have a little look and see. We've got that. Just the Melon Mambo. That really brings out the pinks quite nicely, doesn't it? I haven't got Gorgeous Grape. I've got Highland Heather. So we could see what Highland Heather will do. And then I'm going to tone the stamp for the sentiment in with that, so that then that works. No, that's too pale. Too pale throws that. So a blue. What blues have I got? That's a Coastal Cabana, which is a little bit lighter, but that might pick up on here. We'll see. Nope, don't like that. Green. Have I got a Granny Apple Green in here? No, I haven't. I think I'm going to go with the Melon Mambo, because I think that picks that up quite nicely. So, and in fact that tones in with the purple quite well. So I'm going to use that as my base. And then I am going to use the Melon Mambo for the congratulations. Now, this stamp, it's the first time I've used this congratulations. So what I tend to do is ink it up and just test it on a scrap. You can always cut that scrap out and use it if it goes nicely. Oh, yes. Now, you see that I think will look lovely, because you don't want too much, and it actually gives a little bit more white space. So I think that that will work very well. So we'll take that down onto this side, just put it down, and you've got congratulations on there. And I think that that's actually worked out really rather well. I like those colours. I like that colour combination. Put that onto a white card base, which will add to the white. Let's see if I've got one here. I don't know whether I've got one already cut. It says me, I've got so many different things cut. However, I will have a little look. I've always got some cut here. I just haven't folded them. So take my card base. So you can do your standard cards and bases. I know that I have quite a lot of international people, and your card bases are different, and people work in centimetres and work in inches. And so I just tend to sort of say, this is a sheet of A4 cut in half. Then the mat is 1/4 of an inch smaller. And as I said, I tend to cut out quite a few, and then I can mix and match and see what I like. And then the white card front is 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I do 1/4 of an inch increments. You can do 1/8 of an inch if you want, but I think 1/4 of an inch just adds that pop of colour. But I think that works really well. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.